It's not bad, yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm just seething inside, both for this issue as well as the fact that they've been so good at keeping this low and underneath the radar.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of, I guess I'm wondering, what kind of, this is the biggest issue, I'm thinking, what kind of hurdles have you run into? But just to use a little analogy, one of the things, I'm just trying to, we're all energized because we're here.
Yeah.
But I think about if I'm driving at nighttime and I'm heading towards a river, and I'm going along at 60 miles an hour, and all of a sudden I realize the bridge is washed out. Do I turn around and go, phew, just head home another way? And all the other traffic heading that way? No, I park my car diagonally in the road and I'm waving my arm, stop, stop. I don't want anybody else to go that way. I think it's an immense...
That's a very decent response already.
I think there's an immense responsibility that we have to multiply our singular energy.
Yeah.
And in addition to this, contacting our elected officials,
Yeah.
social media, neighborhood, wherever we have to. I know I've read ahead here, but I know we've got a big job to do.
Yeah, and it starts right here because we do have an election. And today, and this will bridge to Evan's part of this, if that's okay. Today we met with Jim Maurer, and to be honest, it was not on his website where he stood on TPP. And we had a very good conversation. He says, I'm going to put it up on the website that I oppose the TPP. So he's running, against David Young. Again, you see both their phone numbers here because when this was printed up, it wasn't clear where he stood either now. And but you do have an opportunity in this both of these congressional districts, whether you live here or north of here. As you all know, this is the dividing line. To right now get people to call them because they're going to be in the House. At least 60 Republican members of the House are going to vote no. They don't have to break with their party. And their presidential candidate, and I could call him insane and all kinds of things, it doesn't matter what I think, he is campaigning against the TPP. They should stick with him. They're voting with him. They support him. They can't wait to talk about, especially King, how great Donald Trump is. Why aren't they with him on this? And you don't need to be with Donald Trump. You can be with 80% of the American people when they know about this. Republican, Independent, Democrat are against this. So we do want to put pressure on David Young. And we do want to still ask Jim Maurer, talk about this. It's a winning issue in this campaign. He's got a relatively close election, Maurer. Make this front and center. Don't put this in the background, because if you talk about this in plain English and you tell people it's forever and ever, we lose our sovereignty, as well as factory workers will lose jobs and even family farmers can be disadvantaged by this. This should be talked about now at the height of this election. Yes. Brother.
Okay, so it's my understanding that China actually aims to be hurt from the TPP because as corporations start looking for cheaper labor in Vietnam and Malaysia, they're going to start moving their countries. And China, over the last 20 years, has never really seen a slowdown in their growth. So are we worried about what they're going to do about that? And could that potentially hurt the global environment when they start feeling the negative effects of the TPP?
Yeah, so I think those are good arguments, but one thing that's not well known, any country in the Pacific can dock, it's called docking, on the TPP. That includes China. That includes the Philippines, many others. It's not that the countries are bad. It's just that their policies are not good. So if China thinks they're going to be hurt by it, they're going to join it. And the odds are they would join it. And so that whole argument about China versus the U.S. that the president's making, most of that actually falls away. Because China would then be the biggest, bigger than us, the biggest nation in the TPP. Wow. And people expect that China would dock on it. Now, if they had been involved at the beginning, they would have changed some of the provisions. That part is true. So I just want to say both sides of that. But they'll end up docking on it and benefiting from it. Your main point is true, except that growth has slowed in China, way bigger than it is here. But actually growth has slowed in China. But your main point is true. So wages in China, particularly in the Shanghai region of China, have actually gone up. They've not gone up in our country, but they actually have gone way up in the Shanghai region. Now, there's outlying regions where wages are almost as low as Vietnam. But the contrast between the heavy industrial area of China on the wage rates and Vietnam is gigantic. It's just like you're saying. So if the average wage rate in Vietnam, the minimum is 55 cents, the average might be 80 cents an hour. In the Shanghai and the heavy industrial region, it's probably up now to about $8 or $9 an hour, believe it or not, in China. But that's in the heavy industrial region. So yeah, they're going to lose jobs to Vietnam.
Larry, I'm curious about the organizing behind the coalition. Over the past couple of years, you built up a pretty large, powerful coalition of people fighting this, and in a context when the left is really divided traditionally by ideology, people get pigeonholed and we have the labor people over here and the environmental people over here.
Some of the labor people, remember, some of us are with the environmental people. Go ahead. Sorry.
And also by tangent, right? You got the black bloc people all the way up to the liberal lobbying organization. So how did you forge this coalition? What did that look like? What lessons would you like to teach about that?
I'll do a short version of that. We can talk more individually. So I think the key, so if you go to a website like stopthetpp.org, you'll see 8 fact sheets, and they're by area. So like environmentalists, why are we, and then it's signed by all the groups. Why are we fighting TPP? Immigrants, why are we fighting the TPP? LGBTQ, why are we fighting the TPP? You know, that's a human rights issue about these countries and how they might be treated. Labor, why are we fighting? So part of it was, right, you have to translate things, you know, like in an elevator ride kind of things, not a longer talk, into the core issues that people care about. And this loss of sovereignty, you know, sort of overshadows all of those. And forever and ever and ever overshadows all of them. And so that's what you would see there, these 8 fact sheets. But they're not just fact sheets, they're signed off by leading groups from those areas. And then on the labor front, where I was particularly active, some of it comes from those of us who saw this early on, frankly, being relentless. Some would say ruthless, but I would say relentless. Relentless sounds better than ruthless. And persistent. Yeah, that's a nicer way to say it. I was trying to be honest. So it took a lot to sort of build that up and then get people to take it on in an assertive, almost aggressive way. And particularly because the Democratic president was doing this. So, you know, my point of view, again, even though I've been on the DNC for 12 years, I don't start out as somebody who wakes up every day, Democratic Party. I start out every day, citizen. You know, what kind of world do we want for my daughters and for everybody else? And that's my frame of reference. It's not, you know, Democratic Party first, but we had to get through that issue about the Democratic president bringing this. And that is not easy. It's still haunting us. And right now, that coalition is not doing as much as it should because too many parts of that coalition are believing that it's the election or work on the TPP.
The same thing.
And it should be the same thing. The way we should do our politics is not just vote for this one better than this one. It should be vote for this one and here's what we stand for. And after the election as well, what we stand for now is what we're going to fight for. And we're going to get people elected at the highest level who are just like us, even if we can't do it now. So yeah, we're going to vote now based on our choices. But we're going to do that by talking about the issues we really care about, even if some of those candidates come up short. That's what I would call the populist movement, the movement of the people that we have to build. Yes. Thanks, Alejandro, for pushing me along. Yes.
What is Donald Trump's primary reason for being opposed to TPP?
So again, probably others could better answer that than me, but I would call it psychological in part. I would call it shadow populism.
He said he wasn't afraid to do that. They mentioned it. They said you seem to use a racial undertone, and he said that. I remember him saying I did not put that statement on that vote.
Yeah.
So
Can I hear that? We'd like to hear what you said over here.
Yeah. Sorry. Did you want me to say it again?
Yeah, repeat it.
I think during the debate, I heard Donald Trump say he did not regret using a racial undertone when Lester Holt asked him. There was a tone of some sort. I believe
That wasn't focused primarily on his TPP. That's more his general demeanor is racist. I don't mind saying that. But on the TPP, it would be, it's related in some ways to that. So you can have populism based on a progressive view of the world, which hopefully, you know, that's where I come from. You can also have a populist movement based on a reactionary view of the world. And again, this is my politics. Everybody does it. So when he says, make America great again, that's looking in a rearview mirror. And, you know, having grown up in North Philadelphia with what I would call a racist, if not fascist, police commissioner, Frank Rizzo, when I was a kid, and feeling the brunt of that, even though he's white, that was not great again for me. To me, he's talking its code for Make America Hate Again, and getting votes based on that. Regardless of what our skin color is and stuff, we want a world that's not like that. But there is an element in populism around the world that is against the corporate takeover, even if it's the populism that comes sort of from the right. And he's tricky enough to tap into that.
So I have one question, and I will tie back to TPP.
Yeah.
So have you heard of food libel laws?
Yeah.
These laws basically protect investors, big businesses. Okay, these food libel laws basically protect big investors, agriculture investors, and if you essentially say something that impedes profit of food producers, you are you could be legally charged for that, and that is actually in my eyes limiting your free speech, because if there is something that food companies are doing that we have, and this is pointed by that because this TPP is protecting investors in ways that we may not be aware of, that could really be too late, because it's already, I think, restricting our free speech.
Yeah.
Food libel laws, in my opinion, limit free speech. Sorry? Yes, there's a case with the Oprah Winfrey Show back in, they were trying to tie mad cow disease to it. He was a rancher that had a lot of experience with farming, and Oprah Winfrey interviewed him, and the episode he spoke out in a way that must have damaged or had been able to be proven to have damaged profit loss. In the end, he got charged, and he's still paying down the lawsuit. I mean, it can ruin your life. The lawsuit can ruin death power. And these investors, the money is going to flow, and I think that this directly ties in a lot of ways to the agriculture and the environment. Recently, on the state level and federal, I can't remember, there was 187 scientists or something like that. It was on NPR, signed a limitation, more and more limitations, or not limitations, cash incentives to reduce greenhouse emissions. Third of Iowa's greenhouse emissions come from agriculture. So, I mean, it's only a third in Iowa. In the world, it could be a lot more. One of the leading causes for rainforest deforestation is ranching, alongside with the lumber industry. It's ranching. There's a lot of what goes on. I really think that has one of the speediest effects on our future, because it goes. I mean, even the electric car. There seems to be only the Tesla car. Only the Tesla car. I remember speaking with someone that had an electric kit back in the 70s that he could install in his car and put several batteries in his pickup truck. I mean, maybe the batteries didn't sell, but it's strange how Tesla seems to be the only one who's, I mean, credit to SpaceX and all that is credit, but this seems to be the only one. I think this TPP brings on to our future, and I think Bernie Sanders' future to believe in is what we need. I won't go back in. No one can get over that. Yeah, me.
Can I just make one suggestion that we bring Evan up, and Evan's going to talk to us about about what we can do, and then we can do more questions. I just don't want to use up all our time. Here's the specifics of what we can do right now.
So like Larry said, my name's Evan Berger. I am an organizer with CCI Action. I'm also a CCI Action member, so more on that later. Stay tuned for that. But at CCI Action, Cherie said a few words about it already. We have a slogan, kind of our catchphrase. Cherie, do you remember our kind of three-part slogan? Putting on the spot. Anyone know our slogan?
We act, we get it done.
Cherie got it. We talk, we act, and we get it done.
Yeah.
So we just talked. Larry has all the facts as an expert. Thank you again for coming out here to Iowa. Now, my job is to take that next step, the action step. So who here is ready to act? All right, who here is ready to get it done? All right, who here is ready to stop the TPP? section here, and that's this agenda packet. And I know we had them sitting on the pews. Did everyone get one of these? Please hold it up if you got one. If you didn't, Hugh here will run an extra round. So wave your hand. Oh, okay. We're sharing it around. Okay, excellent. Collective action. I love it. So I'm just going to walk you through this agenda packet. There's a couple different sheets here. So the front of this packet is the agenda, and I made this agenda. So a little pop quiz here. Who can spot the error on this agenda? Anyone see it? I think you saw it before. The times are completely wrong, so I apologize for that one. But again, you all made it here right on time, so I appreciate that. The second page, Larry referenced, this is an op-ed that appeared in the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier and also appeared in the Quad City Times. This is Larry's kind of written version of his speech, and like he says, which side are you on? That's the crucial question. The next page of this agenda packet is this fact sheet. So this is pretty much between Larry's op-ed and this fact sheet, everything you need to know about the TPP. This is all the facts. You need to have like a foundation for action. So take a look through that. And then finally, the piece that I'm really going to focus on is this little green sheet. Does everyone see that little tiny green card here? So I'm just going to run through this. This is what These are the things that we could do to take action on this. And I really liked your question, sir. In the green shirt, you were asking about you're talking about the bridge. What's your name? Larry. Okay, so Larry, I think, made a great point, which he said, Des Moines is a huge city, right? Tens of thousands of people. We got 50 people here in the room, But actually, when I hear 50 people, I hear power, right? Because it's not just I think it's closer to 60 tonight. So we got 60 people here in the room in Des Moines. Last night we did an event up in Ames. We got 60 people in a brewery up in Ames. We're doing an event like this in Waterloo tomorrow. We're gonna have 60 people there or more. We're going over to Davenport on Saturday, down to Iowa City on Saturday, 60. Let's start to add up 250, 300, 400 people. That's real power. I think 50 people, yeah, that's right. So when I hear 50 or 60 people, I hear power. And I'll tell you what, I've worked on campaigns before, electoral campaigns. And I guarantee you, if for those people who are running for Congress here in Iowa, they hear about 50 people, or 50 people meetings all across the state on an issue like this, they sit up and take notice. 50 people, that can make or break a campaign. People who care, are passionate about an issue, are willing to take action on an issue. So 60, yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, our collective power and our ability to take action on this, I did want to run through a few options, or a few ways that we can take action and we can stop the TPP here, right now, right here in Iowa. So I'm going to call on someone to read the first thing on this green card. Do I have any volunteers? Do I have any volunteers here? I'm going to start calling on people. Yeah, all right.
Is this the first one?
Yeah.
I will call my U.S. representative to ask them to oppose the TPP.
That is great. Thank you. What's your name? Derek. All right. Derek's going to call us U.S. representative. I got you. No. So that is the first checkbox. So like Larry said, the fight is in the House on this. This is where it comes down. We're being strategic about this fight. It's a big fight, but if we have good strategy, if we have a lot of people, we can win. So we're looking at where we can stop this, kind of choke points on TPP, and we see the U.S. House. One nice thing about the House is they're up for election every 2 years. So every single member of the House of Representatives is up for election, unless they're choosing not to run again, including here in Iowa. So if you flip back to your agenda here, we have the two main candidates for the 3rd Congressional District, which includes us here in Des Moines. David Young and Jim Maurer. We have their phone numbers there, so you can call them. Now, I just wanted to read a little bit about David Young. So David Young voted for Fast Track Authority. Already on the wrong side of the issue there. That was last year, right, Larry? June of 2015. So maybe he's changed his mind. No. So this is just last week. He did a candidate questionnaire for the Iowa Cattlemen's Association. They're really big proponents of the TPP. And so what he says in this questionnaire is, as a state and a nation, we need new and open markets for exporting our agricultural products. I supported and voted for Trade Promotion Authority, Fast Track, to allow our current and next presidents the ability to negotiate trade agreements. We need our American products and values in the Pacific region. As I continue to review the TPP agreement, I am more favorable to it as long as we are assured that we can maintain its enforcement, blah, 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 blah. What I'm reading here is he's continuing to double down on this. He's kind of mealy-mouthed, but he's continuing to double down on the TPP. And this was just last week. So, he's doubling down. He's hearing from the Cattlemen's Association. He's hearing from the Chamber of Commerce. He's hearing from big business. We need to make sure he also hears from real citizens, right, Booty? That's right. All right, cool. So, and he has a challenger, Jim Maurer, who again, we sat down with him, had great stuff to say. I think he needs to hear from us too, right? He needs to hear that this is an issue that people are talking about. That 60 of his constituents got together and talked about, tonight, and that we care about it. We're taking action. We want to know where he stands, and that he'll continue talking about it. He'll continue pushing his opponent, David Young, on this issue. So, show of hands. Who here can make 2 calls tomorrow morning to David Young and Jim Maurer? Awesome, fantastic. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a pen, and if you don't have one, I'm going to ask you to hand them out. So raise your hand if you do not have a pen. They're in the back of the room by the sign-in sheet.
I'm sorry, all I got is one.
Okay, so raise them high. And John, could you help out too? All right, so keep your hands up. This is important. So.
Here. Hugh.
Here's a pen.
All right.
Awesome. Well, we got one more, Hugh.
All right, this is the way we do it.
One more. Last pen. All right, one more.
He's got a pen.
Oh, he's got a pen. Okay, great.
We gotta take the action. That's the only way we're gonna get this done. So can't just sit there. Who needs a pen? All right.
I think everyone's got a pen. So what I want you to do, take your pen. If you're going to make those 2 calls, the 2 very easy calls, check that box at the top there, and then we'll take, you can hand that back into us afterwards, and we'll make sure you have everything you need. This is really easy, the easiest and one of the most effective ways that we can take action on this right, in the next 24 hours here. So I want to do a quick little exercise, just a couple minutes. If you can turn to your neighbor and just do a little bit of a role play. When you pick up the phone, you're calling office, ring, ring, ring. A staffer picks up, says, "Hello, this is David Young's office. What can I do for you?" What would you say to that person? So turn to your neighbor, do a little practice for tomorrow morning when you make that call, and then we'll switch and have the other person do it. what you would say when you make this call. Great.
Okay, hold on, everybody. We're going to hear a report back. Sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, this is David Young's office. What can I do you for?
You're on.
Hi, my name is Toby. I'm representing Korea. You're ready for U.S. Congress, and I wanted to see what your position was on the TPP.
Well, I've been talking to some accountants, and I really think it's going to do some great things for farmers in Iowa. So, I'm leaning towards it right now.
Okay, well, definitely, I actually think the exact opposite. I think it's actually horrible for Iowa. I know that farmers represent the majority of us in the state, and also this would not be good for any of us here in the United States. I think that the TPP is really actually more not much of a trade agreement, but more of a corporate plan to maximize profits of corporations over the human rights of citizens and everyone in this country and in the world. So I don't really think that we should be leaning on this position. I think we should actually be completely against it and should vote against it when this comes into Congress. Or else, that's fine.
That was great. That was fantastic. And Pooty, you're going to make that call for real tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So we got to practice it. All right. So the battles in the House. We can call our own representatives, but another person, as Larry was saying, who has a lot of power over all the Democratic members of Congress, especially, is Secretary Hillary Clinton. Right? She is. She's running to be the leader of the party. She's at the top of the ticket. She's got all this attention on her. And when she picks up the phone and calls a member of Congress, that member of Congress, I guarantee you, is going to pick up that phone and listen to what she has to say. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that she should call members of Congress and lobby them against TPP?
Yeah.
So after you've made your two calls to Young and Maurer tomorrow, just one more call to the DNC. This is the Democratic National Committee. The official party organ of the Democratic Party. They have a general line that you can call in and pass along messages about the direction of the party, and that's exactly what we want to do. Pick up the phone, ask them to start. Tell Hillary Clinton to start lobbying against the TPP.
What's the number?
So if you take a look at your agenda, the number is 202-863-8000. So, take this agenda home and you'll have all the information you'll need tomorrow. So, another show of hands. Who can make that third call to the DNC tomorrow? Fantastic. So, take that pen, check the second box there if you raise your hand. So, those are some key players. Yes, Joe.
I thought that their last debate, they're going to debate again on Sunday.
Yeah.
Actually, Trump was stronger on his position about the trade agreements than Hillary was. And I think we have to call in to her and let her know she was weak on that in contrast to Trump.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, that's exactly. We're actually trying to help her, right? Give her some feedback on her performance. I think that's a great message for this call. So, in addition to Hillary Clinton, David Young, Jim Maurer, these individuals who have power on this issue, there's also just a matter of public opinion. There's a lot, we got to get the word out about this issue, make sure that people are talking about it, people are paying attention to it, the candidates hear other people talking about it, and then we kind of multiply our numbers, from 60 to 250 to 1,000 to 10,000, here in Iowa, across the country. So another easy thing that you can do tomorrow, or even tonight, this is something you can do when you head home tonight, is write a letter to the Des Moines Register, or whatever paper you like, and lay out, just very short, simple, 200 words, something around there, why you oppose the TPP, and say this is an issue that you will be voting on in November. So show of hands, who can write a letter to the editor? Oh, fantastic, great. So, if you're able to do that, check that box there, and we'll follow up and give you any help you need. We'll get you the email address, how to send it in,
I think you
all that good stuff.
fact sheet to actually write my letter, right?
Whoa, Hugh's got a great idea. We got some great information right here in our agenda packet on that fact sheet. So, if you're thinking about what to say, just take a look through there and see what grabs your attention.
Just those headings are good. Those dark headings.
I agree. So that's another thing you can do. Now, if you're the other big way though or another even more effective way to change public opinion is just to talk to people, right? Get them on the phone, talk to other voters, talk to your neighbors, folks here in Iowa and across the country about this issue, about the TPP. Kind of lay out what we learned tonight. Ask them where they stand and urge them to vote for candidates who oppose the TPP. So we're actually going to put together a phone bank this Wednesday at the CCI office at 2001 Forest Avenue, which, if I'm not turned around over there, just a little, 5-10 blocks over there, that way. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., that's the time. You can write that on there. And we're going to be calling other Iowans. These are pretty friendly calls, right? So these are people that we met at Bernie events, state conventions, people who are already pretty much with us on the issue. We want to get back in touch with them and say this is a big issue. We're going to be talking about it up until the election and after. We want you to get involved and to take action on this as well. Will you join our movement? So show of hands, who can come in and phone bank on Wednesday night? Oh, fantastic, excellent, great. And we'll give you a list. Yeah, Sandy, do you have a question?
From survey companies.
Uh-huh.
And I think it would be a good idea to tell them we oppose the TPP and we want to hear the candidates.
Right.
Say something about
Yeah, that's a great idea, Sandy.
the representatives in their party
Right.
say we oppose it, you should oppose it also.
That's right. So Sandy was saying, you get calls from pollers, from people doing surveys. These are really important numbers this time of year. Often they're asking you about issues that you care about and that sort of thing. And that's another great chance to talk about the TPP. Yes, Pootie.
I don't know what the exact step for it right now, but we made phone calls perhaps. Not for this debate coming up on Sunday, but for the next debate, the final one, call the Committee of Presidential Debates and say, if they haven't brought it up as a debate topic already, this upcoming one, make sure that it comes up in the final one as a debate question.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. We want to make sure that this is being discussed on big stages like that. So those are 4 ways to get involved. But really, one of the best ways, I think, best saving the best for last year to get involved is to sign up as a CCI Action member. So Shireen talked a little bit about CCI Action as an organization. I thought you did a great job. Like I said, I'm a CCI Action member as well. And really the reason that I'm a member of the organization is I believe in that slogan. We talk, we act, we get it done, right? There are a lot of organizations that do the talking. There are organizations that do the acting. But CCI Action is the one where I actually bring those two together and getting it done, getting real results. Just to show hands, how many CCI or CCI Action members do we have in the room? Who's a member right now? Awesome. So Derek, right? Yeah, Derek, why are you a member of CCI Action?
Because I'm a millennial myself, so I'm pretty young here. I don't want to criticize the country without actually fighting against what I think is wrong.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly right. So, we're a people power organization. That's where we get our powers, from the people, from our members. One way to have power is power in numbers, but we also, you need money to do organizing. So, we got to fund our own revolution. It's not like corporations are going to come in, write a big check, and say, here you go, go stop the TPP, right? That's not going to happen. So, we are a dues-based membership organization. We have over 3,000 dues-paying members across the state of Iowa, CCI Action, and our sister organization, CCI. And that's a lot of power, but we're always looking to get more, right? We're always looking to bring more people in. Dues, $35 a year for a family, or $25 for an individual. That brings you into this big people power organization. So, anyone in the room tonight who's not a CCI member who is interested in signing up tonight? Awesome, very good. So these envelopes here. Okay, great. So if everyone has one of these envelopes here, you can put your donation in the envelope, put your information, write it on the inside there, and then seal it up and give it to me or at the signing table on your way out. One other question. So, for those of you who are CCI Action members, who here is interested in giving an extra donation just to continue to support this work, these meetings, this work on the TPP? Who here? Show of hands. Hugh is awesome. Oh, John is awesome. Jared, Hootie, Grant. I don't know your name. That's awesome. Fantastic. So, same thing for you also. Just take this envelope. Put your donation in there, and then write your information so we know who it was from, and we can thank you properly. So, thank you all for your generosity. Thank you all for your support. That's how we're going to get things done. Yes, question over here.
Yeah, the question I have affects quite a few of us right here that I know of.
Sure.
6 to 8 p.m. and we'd really like to help with the phone bank on Wednesday. Is when Reverend Billy is going to be here.
Oh no!
Yeah, Occupy the World Food Prize.
CCR is sponsoring it.
I know. This could be okay. So what I'll do is we'll sit down. We'll figure it out. Time that probably works better for that. We'll get back in touch with everyone. Did everyone get a chance to sign it on the way in? We have your email address. We can get back in touch with you and help. We'll get you that information. Thank you for pointing that out. Those are 5 excellent ways to get involved in this fight. But one other great, one other thing about this organization, about CCI Action and CCI, is that we fight on a broad range of issues. So I'm going to wrap up my portion and hand the mic over to Matthew, my coworker, to talk about another campaign that CCI is doing here in Polk County very briefly.
All right. Thank you, Evan. And then can you help me out?
Sure.
So, just real quick, folks. So I'm here to talk about the 15. So how does that relate to this meeting about the TPP? Well, it's all about taking on corporate power. So what Hugh and Evan are passing out, and also Cherie, thank you, is that this upcoming Tuesday at 9 a.m. is the 3rd and final reading of the minimum wage ordinance for Polk County. We need a very strong showing there to let them know that we will not cave into the grocery industry and the restaurant industry. We will not create a discriminatory youth wage for workers 14 to 17. We do not believe in freezing the tip wage for restaurant workers so that members of the public continue to subsidize low wages of the restaurant industry. We need a large showing. The card is there. And I did that in under a minute. I can't believe it. So, Evan, who gets the microphone now? You got to pick somebody. So I'll give Evan back the microphone.
That's Tuesday?
Tuesday at 9 a.m. The information is on that postcard that just got passed around.
Court. Okay.
Great. So we
at the Polk County Administration Building, where you go to renew your driver's license or the tags on your license plate.
All right, thank you, Matthew. So that's all we got for tonight. We'll be seeing you all very shortly to keep this fight going, right? But I just want to thank Larry one last time for coming out for a great speech. Thank you, Larry. And thank you all for taking the time.
That will do it for tonight's stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I do apologize for the breaks. I had some interruptions. So I will get this up on YouTube later. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the